in this video the most interesting 2022 winter transfers in case you miss any of them. Be sure to let me know in the comments which of these transfers will be the greatest success and which can be the greatest disappointment. In the Premier League, a lot has happened in Tottenham. Kulusevski, winger, was the old lady great hope, but for a long time he couldn't count on regular performances. It seemed that the potential transfer would fail after a serious injury of Chiesa. Bentancur, the Uruguayan central midfielder, also went in the same direction. The 24-year-old joined Antonio Conte's team on a permanent transfer basis. Ali, the Englishman, had long been tipped to leave Antonio Conte's team as a disappointing and out of concept, and potentially worth a lot of money that could be invested in players needed by the Italian coach. Those players will finish the season in other clubs. Ndombele, the midfielder from the beginning of his adventure with the team, was more often criticized than praised. Also because very large amount of money spent on him, even for the Premier League standards. Much has been said this winter about the serious interest of PSG. Ultimately, the player returns home, which is Lyon. Lo Celso, the Argentinian midfielder, is once again loaned by Tottenham to Laliga, from where he ends up in the Premier League. He was a Betis Sevilla player. The next 6 months he will play for Villarreal. Gil, the promising Spanish winger, took the same direction. The former Sevilla player has just played 86 minutes in the Premier League and is surely hoping for more in Valencia. Aston Villa made several transfers. Coutinho, the Brazilian, is without a doubt one of the most disappointing transfers in history. Will a huge step backwards at first glance turn out to be a beginning of better form and world-class play? Digne, the French fullback, who has recently been in conflict with Everton, joined Aston Villa, which turned out to be one of the most active clubs in this window. Newcastle also grew stronger. Guimaraes, a loud Newcastle transfer, which was much talked about at the end of the window, but many observers did not believe that the player would decide to make such a decision. In the short term, Lyon made double the amount invested in player. Trippier, the Englishman, spent a successful period at Atletico Madrid, being an important part of Diego Simeone's team. Now he will take up a challenge of keeping Newcastle in the Premier League. Liverpool finally decided to the transfer from the Portuguese league announced for the last few weeks. Diaz, the Portuguese league star, has been associated with the Jurgen Klopp's team since the beginning of the transfer window. The final transfer amount is well below the 70 millions mentioned earlier. City got a new striker. Julian Alvarez, the Argentinian, has aroused the interest of many clubs in recent months. Citizens immediately loaned a striker to the old team where he will finish the current season. Worth mentioning, naturally, Eriksen, player from Denmark, returns to football at the highest level, and regardless of the results, he deserves a huge applause for his determination. The back, the Dutch midfielder, is definitely not satisfied with the role he was playing in the Red Devils squad. The next 6 months he will have Everton, who has failed this season. In Italy, Juventus became the king of the window. Vlahovic, an absolute hit and the 4th most expensive winter transfer in history. Many clubs were very interested in the services of the Serbian forward. He will eventually try to help bring Juventus back to the fight for the Scudetto this season. Zakaria, the Swiss defensive midfielder, joined Juve for a symbolic amount due to the contract expiring in the summer. The former player of Borussia Mönchengladbach aroused the interest of many European teams. Ramsey, the experienced Welsh midfielder, had not played a significant role in the Juventus team for a long time, and it was known that both sides would like to solve the problem. Ultimately, former Arsenal player will strengthen the Glasgow Rangers. Gosens, Inter finally recruited alongside left defender, further weakening the dangerous league rival. It is said that German, on loan for now, will cost 25 million euros. Lazetic, Milan was also not very active during the winter window. At least one big transfer was expected, especially to the defense weakened by injuries. In the end, only very young players, including the forward, ended up in the team. Boga, the Sassuolo winger, had been one of the club's standout players for a long time, and there were many indications that he will soon be joining a team that fights for larger goals. A technically gifted player should fit well into an offensive Atalanta team that is still in the fight for the Scudetto. Oliveira, the Portuguese midfielder, has so far moved on loan from Porto to Jose Mourinho Roma, who is betting on him right away, which indicates that there is a good chance that there will be talks over a permanent transfer. Piątek, in the face of the Polish striker and Fiorentina's new players, the mission that is doomed to fail. Vlahovic whizzing. However, if the former Milan player will have a period as successful as the beginning of the Serie A adventure, he could give fans many happiness. In the Laliga, the attack was rebuilt by Barcelona. Torres, the universal striker, returns to the fields of La Liga, where he previously represented Valencia, becoming one of the biggest stars in the team. 11th most expensive winter transfer ever. Adama, the Barcelona homegrown, returns to Camp Nou. The Wolverhampton fullback or winger has rejected a prominent contract offered by Tottenham, and for the time being he will play for almost a symbolic salary. Aubameyang, another reinforcement of the attack in the last hours of the transfer window, turned out to be representative of Gabon. The initial loan turned out to be a definitive free transfer. The Gunners decided to save around 27 million in the salary that they would have to pay to the player for the remaining 80 months of his contract. Martial, the French player, has long been associated with leaving Old Trafford, and as he was not interested in staying in the Premier League, he rejected Tottenham's offer on the way. Vaz, the all-rounder, will be joining Diego Simeone's team, most likely to replace Kieran Trippier, who has left for the Newcastle, although he is still a midfielder. Bakambu, the forward associated with, for example, performances in Villarreal, returned to Europe after 4 years in China. In the colors of the new team, he has already recorded a Premier hit in only 60 minutes. Azmoun, the Iranian, will leave the Russian league for the first time, although he has been associated with the teams from Ligue 1 or Bundesliga many times. The amount of transfer is really not excessive. The question is whether this is a protection against a very possible summer chic departure. Neres, the Brazilian, became a new player for Shakhtar. For sure, this is internationally recognized team, but many expected the winger to play in one of the top leagues. Thanks for watching, remember to always enjoy football, and see you in the next video.